welcome back to the workshop. Today we're doing a laser chaser build, a Makita Laser Chaser. We've got a 9-inch Makita grinder and we're going to stick this here onto a laser chaser head. So two separate things being joined up together. We don't actually normally buy them like this here. Normally you actually buy them as a complete kit built up, but we keep getting them in like this because we want to put them onto a Makita grinder instead of the Hikoki. So you get the Makita Hikoki or Makita Laser Chaser and you get a Hikoki Laser Chaser, which are just two brands with a laser chaser head attachment. So that's what I'm doing here today. Just thought I'd do a wee quick live on this. Seeing as there's a few minutes free, I thought I'd stick this up in the live. Now we don't need all this. Don't need the guards. I do need the handle. Need that. How's things? I see all the comments coming on there now, lads. How's all doing? Hoping you're doing well. If I don't get replying to all the comments, it's just because I don't see them coming up here. Obviously we need the grinder. Should be spanner as well. Get rid of that. So we don't need that either. Get rid of that too. Throw some on top of it. That, and I have a few of the bits and pieces. And this right here is the actual laser chaser. You don't actually buy it like this as the head. I know people ask where to buy it. You buy it as a thing made up already. We just get it like this because they never seem to have the Makita ones in stock. So they just sell us the head to put it onto our own grinders here. This is the whole kit. So what's in the box? 2 boxes and a head. These here things are for concrete. This is to turn a normal heavy duty grinder into a chaser for cutting tracks in concrete. I have had before. I just want to check before I go any further. Make sure this is the right head. Oh, cheers, Andrew. Hey, thanks for that there. Big massive thanks for that. Yes, they have the first ever money that came through in the live. Hey, thanks very much for that. This here we've had before where I sent in the wrong one. Like I say, you get ones for the Hikoki as well, but there are different flanges to fit it. It has to be the right one for this, so this is the right one at least. Like I said, this here for concrete. If you're plumbing or wiring a house, you need to bury all the wires into the wall so you don't have them sitting up flush. This is the type of thing you're using. Normally it's a 9-inch grinder or you get a specialist machine, but this is a heavy duty one for using on a grinder. So instead of using 9-inch blades in this, you'll be using 7-inch blades, which makes it a wee bit handier. Easier on the machine, so you can actually use 2 blades. So it cuts 2 tracks in the wall, and you chisel out the middle so you can put your wires inside. Heavy duty job to be doing. Boys doing this all day long. It's fairly hard on machines. That's why this thing makes so much sense, because if you burn out your machine, you can just replace the grinder and stick it onto another head instead of replacing the whole machine, the whole chaser. So this and that, and 2 blades. These are for packing right, and this is for attaching. First things first, let's get this part on. Open this up. Get on your wee flange. It's a handy thing to know if you have one of these machines, because if you have one, you burn it out, you can easily just swap it over. That's it, ready to go. Fitted for the Makita grinder. If it was a Hikoki, it would have a different fitting on here and a different flange on the inside. Before we fit it, we'll just get the head ready. Don't need that. We do need these. They actually fit the 2 blades. So these are wee packers in between. And then there's a bolt then for the top to lock them together. You can adjust the depth of cut as well, adjust the width of the cut, sorry. You can either have the blades spaced as maximum distance apart to fit in more stuff, or you can take it in further, like make a small cut. So there's a lot more adjustment on this. Normally you don't use a spanner for locking these on, but you need to lock this on. That is on there. Don't tighten up the flange yet. First, you want to get these bolts on because they're a tight fit and there's a wee bit of lining up. This is just sitting slack. It makes it a wee bit easier to fit. I'm missing all these comments because I'm watching on and doing them. The spring and hammer and the Makita wrench, that's tricky. You might need a bearing press to spring all that stuff back in again. You have to compress the big spring in the Makita nut gun. It ain't all that easy if you don't have a bearing press. But if you have a vise, that might do. All the way from Africa as well. Amazes me how far these videos actually go. You see what I mean about lining up. You want a wee bit of play to get that on. Need a bigger spanner now. Normally you'd be just buying this as one complete bulk unit in the shop. For a tighten it'll just adjust the head. You don't just get them as a head only. Not unless their shop selling it, just does it like that. But once you have it, you can reuse it and fit it any way you want then. But I had a boy in here looking to fit it to Healthies. Don't think it'll work. Don't know what healthy grind he was talking about. Wrong one. You can see they fit the Cookie and the Makita ones. But he was going for the healthy fleet stuff, renting out the machines basically. Like I say, wall chasing is a fairly tough job. But I don't know if they would fit the healthy grinder. What company would be more repairable in 2026? I would like to see them all, but we all know that's not going to happen. The ones becoming more repairable is these here. Makita seem to have put in the effort, and a Cookie. They seem to be making their tools more repairable to last longer. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Bosch power tools, did always like Bosch power tools, but they didn't keep up with cordless machines as well as all other brands. I actually just had one of the brand new Bosch concrete dealers. Doing a wee video on that someday. Well, I've done a video on it, made a video on it, I'll edit it and post it someday. But not great. Does the job. There are no real frills on them, you know. It's hard to explain. They're good machines, they're good tools, they're well worth investing in, but they're not as repairable as what they were, and they haven't really kept up. Like some of the cordless stuff they've put on DC motors instead of going to brushless, they just really haven't kept up with everything, and they don't have as big a range. And I'm recommending stuff generally. I do like them, but I don't recommend them very often because you don't know what tools people are buying. You just ask them generally what brand to go for, and if you recommend Bosch, then they turn around and say I'm looking for a nail gun. Bosch has always been bad for nail guns, so you don't really want to always go recommending them. I'm just going to set these as far apart as possible. I'm just going to pack them out completely. And diamond blades as well. These are directional. They look the same on both sides. Doesn't really seem much difference. But there is an arrow on them saying which way they have to turn. They work better one way. Same as on here. See the arrow on the machine? It has to follow that. And it's amazing that you actually get these now. So cheap. Diamond blades back in the day used to be extremely expensive. You're talking a lot of money. Now, I know these ones are dear. I think they're about 150 quid a piece. These Laser Chaser ones. Macros are also dear, but boys like the Laser Chaser ones for these simply because they're a little bit thinner, they're easier on the motor, and they're faster cutting. The more expensive Macros ones last longer, but they're much slower cutting. And boys generally dog them a wee bit more, and they can more of a tendency to burn out the actual motor. Probably seen me using this here in videos before, this little magnifying glass. This is actually a Dronco one. This is how expensive diamond blades used to be. This is for actually measuring the amount of wear on the diamond. This little tiny scale on here. That's to magnify the scale. You would use this up to your desk back in the day if you were going for a hire shop to actually hire up out a machine or hire a diamond blade. They would charge you on the amount of wear on the disc. That's how expensive these used to be. Well, they're still dear today, but they're nowhere near as dear as what they used to be. That's the machine. There's no wee rubber cap on this, unless they've actually done away with that. There's a wee rubber cover set on there. Dust port for your hoover. Your handle then. Now, people said in other videos, doesn't fit the grinder. Handle's facing the wrong way. You need to dismantle the head of the grinder so you can rotate the whole body. This is one of the reasons why you go for these Makita ones. Two reasons actually. You need these here Makita grinders, the GA9040S, simply because of the size of the motor. This one here is a 2400 watt motor. You can't fit the smaller ones. Smaller grinders only about a 2000 watt. The 9020 would not take this kind of work. It's far too heavy duty. You need the 9040 to be able to handle this. You need the bigger motor, but also the bigger one has a rotating handle on it, so you can easily adjust it to suit yourself. And as well, whether you're right or left-handed, you can stick this handle on the other side as well. Choose it the other way around. And the only thing we need to do then is fit a plug, because these don't actually come with a plug. Again, a lot of people ask why. I think it's mainly just because of the size of the motor. Technically, this size, you're probably get into more of a 32 amp plug. Nobody uses them here. They're all going to just use it. So I think just to make things easier, we just decided to start selling them with nothing. So let the customer decide what they fit themselves. So that's why they don't come with anything. Now this isn't for anybody, this is actually for the shop. Just building to put up on display for the next person looking for one. Surprised how many of these here are actually sold. Let's just shorten that a wee bit. They're a bit long. But I end up putting together quite a few of them throughout the year, put up on display. like the way the Makitas actually come with this little, just in case. He's surprised how often you get a machine with the wrong plug fitted. It could be a factory problem or whatever. You just have a label as well to make sure you know what voltage it's meant to be. That's her. That is now a Makita Laser Chaser wall chasing machine. 2 blades for cutting 2 tracks out of a concrete wall. Because here in Ireland, most of Europe and the UK, houses are built out of concrete blocks or bricks. Solid concrete. Whenever you want to put everything into the wall, you actually have to cut a track to get it in. It's not like a timber frame, you can just put it on between the insulation. But more work involved. That's her. That's it. One Makita Laser Chaser ready for the shop. And that's just about 6 o'clock. So that's me ready to go home. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. As always, if you're liking these videos, make sure to give us a wee like and a follow down below. But till next time, folks, I'll chat to you later. 6 o'clock, I'm going home to get the dinner.